Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I had gone to the market earlier this morning and I had bought a bunch of vegetables that I had kept in the fridge. So I've just taken them out, and what I would like to do today is show you how I prep my vegetables to be used during the week. So these are the vegetables that I bought for the week. This is a head of broccoli that I'm going to prep, and then I bought some purple, little tiny, small little purple eggplants like this. I'm going to leave the stalks on because this particular recipe, I think it looked kind of cute with the stalks. These are some white eggplants. This is a bag of tri-colored amaranth, some sweet corn, little ones, baby corn, some green beans or French beans, and then I've got some lady's finger or okra, and these are called Indian flat beans. They look like this. I never liked them when I was young, but I'm going to try and make something a little different from what I grew up eating so I could like it as well. And this is a rich gourd. This is some coriander leaves. This is, well, they call it green banana. This banana usually not eaten sweet and ripe. It's usually eaten cooked. So I don't think it's called plantain. It's called raw banana, or green banana. It's this variety of banana that is usually eaten cooked. Then I've got some chilies, some red chilies and some green chilies. As for the vegetables that I bought today, some of them are organic and some aren't. I do like organic vegetables, but they can be pricey. So today I bought a bit of both. The organic vegetables, mostly I just wash them with water, some with a little bit of salt, some salt water solution, because sometimes you can find like bugs and worms and so on, and that's a good sign. That is basically evidence of it being an organic vegetable. As for the non-organic vegetables, I did make a video much earlier on washing pesticides off vegetables. So I had given 3 methods over there. So just to let you know that my favorite method is the most cost-effective one, which is the method which is 1 teaspoon, I think, of baking powder, baking soda, not powder, baking soda, and 2 cups of water. So I've just doubled that whole measurement, and most of my non-organic vegetables are right now soaking, and in about 15 minutes I'll take them out. This head of broccoli is not organic, so I think some people do immerse the whole thing into the baking powder solution, or whatever solution they'd like to use, because they don't want to lose the nutrients from the vegetable. But I do find that sometimes I find that a little, I don't find that so good, because I do find little, like you might have a cocoon or something in between. So I like to cut them in larger chunks so I can kind of look inside to see whether any of those things are there, so I can sort of scrape it off. So yeah, that's what I want to say. And also, if you were a quick tip as to how to cut broccoli or cabbage or cauliflower, don't do it this way, because you would basically get a whole lot of florets over here. So always tackle the head from the stem. So what you do is you can take off some of the stem if you don't want all the stalk, and then you go this way. From the top, you basically make a cut at the top, as I'm showing you now, and then you break it open like so. Okay, this is not that much, and you do it again like that, and then you kind of break it open like that. And then if you want it to be in smaller chunks, you could do the same, basically that way, and then you just break it open. So this way, the florets are still intact. So when you cook, when you cut it into smaller chunks, always go from the back, so you don't get these tiny little florets here. They don't go all over the place like this. And this is just a little bit. But if you were to cut from the top, you would get tons of this, and it would be so difficult to cook this. So speaking about cocoons, this is what I was talking to you about. Can you see that? Over there? Oh, yuck! That one. Ew. Okay, that's what I'm talking to you about. And this will die when you soak it in a preserve, in a solution. But it's not going to come off your vegetables. So I don't want this in whatever I cook. So this is the reason I cut it in bigger chunks like this, and I don't immerse the whole thing. So because I don't want this in my dish. As for this black or blue black stain on my finger, please don't get grossed out with this. This is basically evidence that I have voted in our state elections about 10 days ago. So this, we basically, in Malaysia, we have to dip our finger into a jar of ink, and this ink lasts for, for a long time. So this is basically evidence that I've done my duty to the country or to my state. So yeah, just letting you guys know in case you think it's like why is that? What's that on her finger? The vegetables are drying over here under the fan on my dining table. This is a clean towel that I keep for this very purpose. Oh, can you see this? This is an old baby towel, so this is about 25 years old. Anyway, so, and this is also where my husband does his work. So this is some over here, and there's some over here. This is my kitchen prep table or work table. So I'm drying some over here, and this is also on an old towel, which I keep for this purpose, and under the fan as well. So as for the amaranth, I am not going to wash these leaves. I'm just going to separate the leaves from the stems and the roots and so on, and then I'm going to store it into a plastic container. This would make it easier for me to cook when I want to cook. So this is basically whatever I'm saying now. This prepping is basically so you can come home from work and a busy day, and you can just cook your meals fast. You could dry the wash the amaranth and dry it and make sure it's thoroughly dry before you store it in a container, like my mom does. She would actually sit it out and wait for the amaranth to dry completely. But me, I don't have that kind of patience, and I would rather just wash it quickly before I cook, because I can't wait for the amaranth, for the leaves to like thoroughly dry. And if they're not dry, chances of them wilting and getting starting to rot is a little faster. So I would rather just wash them just before I cook. So as for the amaranth, I'm not going to process. I know I've done a video on my in one of my earlier videos. I know I've taken off each and every leaf, but that was because I wanted to do a stir fry with the amaranth. But in this case, I'm going to make an Indian dish, which basically entails these amaranth, this vegetable to be parboiled, and then it's going to be processed in either a food processor or a blender. So I don't really need to do this. Instead, I'm just going to do this like that, and I'm going to take maybe this much of the stem, and then this one I would do this because I would be using the stems. So yeah, I might just do this in bigger pieces like this, take off the fiber like that, and put this over here. So this is how I'm going to process, or I'm going to prep this vegetable. Let me just show you another one. Okay, this one is going to cut off the whole leafy part, and then this I'll probably keep up to this much, and I'm going to take off this fiber. You don't even have to do this, taking off the fiber, if you don't want to, but I've grown seeing my mom do it. So sometimes you just do things that you grew up watching your mom doing. So just gonna do a bit, because it doesn't matter if the fiber is not taken off, as fiber is good for you guys. So it really is, it doesn't matter. So this is what I'm going to do. Cut it over here, take this off, put it over here, and now I will show you how I store them. So this is how I'm going to store my container. Kitchen paper. These I'm going to go in there. Don't sort of just gently press them in, but not like, don't do that. Just let it be a little loosely packed. Then I'm going to put this one, another piece over here, and all the stems. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to start this like this. So the coriander, I'm just going to put it on this kitchen paper. I'm just going to roll it up like that, or you can even just put it in here and put the top and bottom. Put some kitchen paper at the bottom and the top. That's the same thing actually. So in this container, and then I will put my broccoli like so. You can even put this into a Ziploc bag. It's the same. So they're quite dry now. So yeah, put it over here. And I'm just going to put this on the top, basically just to absorb any liquid that that will naturally occur. And if these vegetables last longer, if they're kept in a dry condition. So basically, the kitchen towels, are to just absorb the water. The raw banana will just go into a Ziploc bag and be kept in the fridge. I'll try to take out as much air as possible because that's basically when spoilage happens. So I know that I'm going to be using these two together with this vegetable because it's going to be a kire kadil. That's what we call it in Tamil. So it goes in here. It will be in together with this. So it will just be easier for me to take it out later. These eggplants go in a Ziploc bag. You can always put a kitchen towel or kitchen paper inside this bag. But I know I'm going to use it within 2 days or so. So I'm not going to put one in here. As for these, I'm going to top. You can either just top and tail these beans, or just put them like this into a container and do it just before you cook. Or you could do this. Take off this fibrous. I don't know what they are called. This fiber in the middle. Take it off, and I'm going to store it after doing that. So it makes it a lot easier for me to put this. So I'm going to do this to this one, and also to the Indian flat beans. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Take off this thing here. Let me show you. And over here, I will take. It's like the strings. I think they're called strings. So you just sort of string it, I guess. Like that. And once this is done, you can either cut them up in any way you want to cut and put them into a container, or you can just put them like this. I think it depends on you, what you want. Sometimes I do cut them up. If I've got a lot of cooking to do, then I would just cut the vegetables, slice them, and do whatever I want to do, chop them up or whatever, and put them into containers. So it's just so easy for me to cook. Sometimes I would actually do the actual slicing and the cutting on the day of cooking. It depends on what I want to do. So I know I'm going to cook the Indian flat beans, these together with these corn. So I'm going to put the corn in here, and I'm going to put this on paper, and I'm going to put this over here. So this will be cooked together. So that's why it goes this way. And as for the beans, I will put the beans in here. Well, I've been using so much of kitchen paper that I tend to try to save it a little bit, like that. And even then I feel quite guilty using it. So this will go in here. All these beans will go in here. Put it over here. So you can either use containers or you can use Ziploc bags, and I will be doing the same with this. But remember, with okra, don't top and tail and so on, because okra can get really slimy if you cut it. So leave the okra intact with everything on it, and make sure it's dry as well, because okra is not something you can keep for too long as well. So the ridge gourd, I know exactly what I want to do with it, and I know how to cut it. So I'm actually going to prep the ridge gourd beforehand. Maybe I won't cut it, but I am going to. This is how can you see this? So there's some sharp edges. That's why it's called ridge gourd or angle gourd. So you do this. basically sort of, you can use a peeler, but I tend to uh, peel off too much sometimes. So I basically just take I'm going to cut it in half. Basically just take off the ridges first, after which I will take off some of the skin as well. I don't like much skin showing on my vegetable. Sometimes I have seen people cooking rich gourd with lots of skin as well. I'm not keen on that, so I would take out most of the skin. So after I take the ridges like this of this one off, I would take off more of the skin as well. So I like it to be like this, and not any of this green skin showing. And this green skin, by the way, Indians, there is an Indian recipe where you can actually make it into like a like a chutney. So I've peeled most of it now, and I'm going to just cut it into large chunks, or sorry, large thick slices. Sorry, thick slices, and I'm just, because I know what dish I'm going to make with this, so I'm going to slice it straight away and put it all into a little container like this. So the ones at the end, I'll just like do it this way, so the sizes are a little equal. Okay, the base will all go into this container, and this is done. Okay, and now lastly for the chilies, I usually put them in a larger container because I just separate them by color, because sometimes I do buy the bird's eye chili, the tiny ones which are really spicy and hot. So I do buy those. So what I do is I put them in a larger container so I can add the bird's eye chili as well. And just to let you guys know, as far as chili is concerned, remember that the spoilage always occurs from here, from the stem and the stalk. So that is where, so if, as long as you remove this little, they'll have like a little cap like thing there. As long as you remove that and remove the stalk, then these chilies can last for a long time. But if you store the chilies with that in on the top, and then you put them in a container, that's when the spoilage would start, and you can't really keep your chilies for long if you do that. Okay guys, so everyone, I hope you found this video beneficial. I hope you would incorporate some of these little prep tricks to in your homes as well. To me, having food prepped in the fridge after a long day's work, or a long day of whatever that you've been doing, is such a game changer in eating healthy food. Thank you, everybody. Here's Shakila Shanmugam signing off. Bye, everyone.